welcome back to Springen in Math. Today we're going to be looking at the first lesson inside Chapter 14, Pythagorean Theorem. Here are some basics and a little bit of history about Pythagorean Theorem. Over 2,000 years ago, there was an amazing discovery about triangles. The square of the hypotenuse, the side opposite of the right angle, is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. The theorem can be written as an equation relating to the lengths of the sides A, B, and C. This is also often called the Pythagorean theorem. So vocabulary. One of the biggest words you get in this section is called the hypotenuse, the longest side of the right triangle, which is opposite of the right angle. Let's take a look at what that actually is. Here's our example of the hypotenuse. We have side A and side B. It shows a 90-degree angle, and opposite the 90-degree angle, we have the longest side of the triangle, or in other words, the hypotenuse. So here's the formula for solving missing sides of a right triangle, or using the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. The hypotenuse is always going to be represented by the variable C when working with Pythagorean theorem. You can solve for any missing side of the right triangle when using this formula. Let's give it a try. Here's an example. We have a rectangle that's been cut in half by a diagonal line. What is the diagonal of the rectangle with sides 10 and 16? So let's insert what we know. Here's our formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Well, side A had a measure of 16. Side B had a measure of 10. I'm going to insert those two for A and B. So I have 16 squared plus 10 squared equals C squared. We've inserted the information we know. Well, I'm going to go ahead and square 16 and square 10. That means 16 times 16, which is 256, and 10 times 10, we all know, is 100. So then I go ahead and add those two together. 100 plus 56 equals C squared. Well, 100 plus 256 is 356 equals C squared. Well, we don't want to know what C squared is. We just want to know what C is worth. So to get rid of the squared symbol on our C, we must take the square root of both sides. And when I do that, I get rid of the squared on the C, and I make the magic number 356 the square root of it. So the square root of 356 is equal to the square root of C squared. Well, if you take the square root of 356, you're going to get 18.87, which is equal to C. So that measure of that side is 18.87. Let's try another one. Find the length of the hypotenuse. We have a fifth side of 15 and a side of 8, and where our hypotenuse is the missing side we're looking for, which is represented by C. Again, the equation formula is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Inserting what we know. 8 and 15. Well, 8 squared is 64, 15 squared is 225, and we have 64 plus 225 equals C squared. I add the two together and get 289 equals C squared. Again, to get rid of the squared part of the C, we must take the square root of both sides, and this time the square root of our number here, 289, comes out to a nice even whole number of 17. So this triangle has side measures of 8, 15, and 17. Here's a review for you. The formula for solving, one last time, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and that vocabulary word, hypotenuse, the longest side of a right triangle opposite of the right angle. Good luck solving. Catch you in the next lesson.